Hey all, it's Nardi by the way, and Koo as well. I'm jumping the gun, and we're coming live. This is the Daily Espresso, short shots of big ideas. We're live from Lights in the Attic, our local again, and very attic and houses. We're talking about structuring today. We're talking about structuring to win. Thank you, Chris. I was almost about to get to my coffee part. I believe it's a single origin. It's having my espresso, and it's a single origin named African Safari, and apparently, I'm going to take a first sip now. Awesome. I thought and I jokingly said to the barista that is it going to have is it aptly named because it's going to be the equivalent of being charged by a rhino. Safe to say that it isn't. It's actually all right. It's really good. It's an African blend, African Safari blend. So Burundi, Ethiopia, and Kenya. So there you go. Enjoy that. Now, talking structuring of your business, talking structuring of your business to benefit you and benefit you in predominantly two massive ways. One is to protect your assets. The other one is to pay less tax. And there is a few more there. Chris, you've got a great question to start us off, and I can go on and hopefully bring some insight into structure.
Yeah.
Fire away.
As a business owner, how do I know if my business is structured correctly, and how do I know, Nardi, if it's working for me?
Cool. Speak to your advisors, number one. Okay, so if someone wants, if someone first asks me, okay, I'm starting a business. I've got $1,000. What do I spend that on? First thing people do is, okay, they probably go and spend it on marketing. I'd say spend it on getting legal and accounting advice. All right. Now I know it's very biased to me, being an accountant, being an advisor to business, but it's absolutely massive. And the reason for that is because structuring right from the outset will pay massive dividends. Will pay massive dividends in your business for a very, very long time. How do you know if you're structured correctly? Take a look at it. Get someone to take a look at it and have a look if that's the right structure for you in your particular business. If you're a cafe or restaurant or a trading business that's, typically in an environment where, the big payday is typically when you sell your business and you make that gain on your goodwill that you sell, right? Future maintainable earnings. Goodwill is taxed in a number of different ways. In one way in Australia, and it's taxed as a capital gain under the capital gain system as an asset. Now there are various different structures that will either tax that completely, or that will exempt almost up to 75% of the profit or the gain on sale that you make. So getting your structure right in that space is a big one, right? So many times I've seen people approach me, they've set up a cafe or a restaurant, and they just haven't thought about it. They've gone online and set up a company or whatever they've done, this little DIY kind of stuff, and they've caused big problems for themselves. All right. Now, unwinding business structures can be costly, and sometimes the cost can be so high that there's absolutely no longer a benefit in doing so. Now, there are some laws that have been about to be passed through Parliament or have passed, and from 1 July this year, you will be allowed in certain cases to restructure your business, restructure your current business without incurring certain tax. Because obviously, if you typically restructure your business, you're going to face some penalties there. So big ones to note is, how do you know if your structure's right for you? Well, you're probably not going to know yourself because it's something where there's quite a bit of knowledge required for in tax, etc. So you're going to need to speak to an advisor about it. Once you do, then you're going to have to start asking the questions. And the key things you want to look at in the perfect structure for you guys is you've got to have the ability to protect your assets, and the key thing about it is to protect your assets. When I say assets, I'm talking about your personal assets. So in business, the key goal of you guys in business is to work extremely hard and smart and be very good at what you do in your business, then be able to extract your gains out of that and put that into an environment or into an investment vehicle where you're able to invest that, whether that be superannuation, whether that be through your own private trust, whatever it might be. That they become your assets, along with your personal assets, your house, for example, which is, if you're in Australia, probably one of the biggest assets people have. So the big key thing there is protecting your assets. The right structure will protect your assets. The right structure will also allow you to build your business without having to chop and change repeatedly. What I mean by build your business, it could be building by way of bringing on new partners or new owners of the business, so providing equity. Certain structures won't allow you to do that, so you're going to have that right structure there. And then the third one is paying less tax. Now, paying less tax is a huge one, and you can gain that luxury by having the right structure in place, where you're able to work with your accountant, with your tax advisor, to distribute income or to split your income in a way legally that minimises your tax. And the minimisation of tax can be massive, and that's purely based on the way Australia's tax rates are and how they're progressive. And the first $18,000 of income that you earn per person is typically tax-free. So if you do it right, you can really minimise that cost in your business, which is tax, increase your profit, increase that net profit after tax that you take away, put that in your pocket, and have a happier life. Build a better business, have more free cash flow, and that's what you want. So they're typically the right structure is going to get you those things. And it's going to be fantastic, because you're also going to feel safe knowing that, sleep at night, knowing that your business, your personal assets are pretty much protected, knowing that your business is ready for, can be ready for that next stage should it need to be, and that you've got the ability to pay less tax. All your hard-earned money that you're making is not just going to go to the tax person because your structure's not working for you. So they're the main things that we do. So how you know it, and then when you've got the right structure and who to see about that, how you can make that work for you, and how it can do some awesome stuff. So structuring is massive. There are, like I said, laws changing. So from 1 July 2016, there are going to be some chances where if you have structured incorrectly, there's going to be a real good chance to review that structure with your advisor, and a real good chance to have a real, a hard look of the right structure for you based on your current situation and circumstances, and the future of your business and your intentions of you personally, and where you want to take it. And it's going to be a perfect chance to make those changes if you need to, and hopefully minimise tax completely on that restructure change, and future-proof your business structure. That's where it starts. Starts and ends with structuring. Make sure it's done right, because it's going to cost you massively if it's not done right. Right? Especially when you choose to exit the business, and potentially all throughout as well. That's basically that's the big talk on structuring. That's the big idea on structuring. I hope you've taken a lot of value out of that, guys. It's Wednesday. We love doing this. Like we said, we're having a great time. But it's also not possible without a great viewing base. So thanks everyone for continually viewing. Thanks for the comments, whoever's put them in there. We'd love to hear more. We'd love to respond to some questions and some topics that are coming out. So Martina, thanks for watching today as well. I can see your first time watching, I think. Thanks very much. Put some comments in. We'd love that. Ask us questions about business. It doesn't have to be predominantly cafe restaurants. However, we love that space. But keep them coming. I'm more than happy to help out wherever possible. Guys, thanks heaps. This is the Daily Espresso. Short shots of big ideas. I'm Nardi. That's Chris. And have an awesome day. Cheers.